It's the Caleb MTG Show.
Should we Fastbond? Try a Fastbond combo. It's kind of a lackluster pack. The most winning card here might actually be Doomsday. Just because that lane's always open. Fastbond is much more fun to me, though. I'm going to follow up this Fastbond with Volcanic Island. Volcanic has some nice wheel effect combo cards for Fastbond to play with. If this is a pack one, pick one, I'd be taking like Fury or Emperor Bones. But we already kind of have a direction here. I'm going to take this Thespian stage. See if we can be a little landy. Now I'm a true MLG streamer. Is that for Major League Gaming? Do they all have some weird bisexual lighting? Yeah, Children of Bodom basically got me into metal single-handedly. There were a couple of other bands that I was listening to at the same time. There were like bridges, and they're mostly on this playlist. Mudvayne, Rob Zombie, Verdant Catacombs. Yeah, I think we want that one. But I think Children of Bodom was the first band that I was listening to with a lot of like actual scream singing and stuff. Just like undeniably talented. Really fun solos and duets. Hell yeah, Mr. Gaines. You have indeed stumbled upon a fresh Caleb DMTG draft. Yeah, Fastball only want Crucible effects, and Crucible effects want fetches, so... Every time I see a Lady Johnny, it always wants me to abandon ship and do that. So Cub would play well with all these fetches. We're just going to keep on grabbing fetches. Oh, there's a draw 7 there. Ooh, decision point. All right, give me the Echo. Hey, the Nugget FTW thinks the Saw thinks it's 73 months. So this Tameo might end up being like the actual Nutter Butters. I'm going to grab that. The Triome is like kind of like my Triome if I do end up being rug colors, but like our mana already looks good. If we get a Time Warp, this Tameo is just going to really pay off for us. Caleb! Yes, mana burn! Oh yeah, the Synthesizer. I think the Synthesizer was a big draw to young Caleb too. Apparently, he was like a jazz musician before he joined Children of Bodom. And Children of Bodom just wanted synth for like one track, so they hired him to lay down something in the studio. And they went out for drinks and realized that they all shared a similar love of just getting absolutely plastered. And they offered him a spot in the band. And he was just their permanent synth player. Really fun to watch him duet with Alexi. And Alexi's like shredding so fast, like his fingers are a fucking blur. And he's on the keys and his hands are moving so fast, his fingers are a blur. The Singing Stupor might be solid. Does Sir Barrington ever go on quests? Oh, yeah. All the time. When Sir Barrington goes on a lot of quests, when he goes away, he gets his brother to fill in for him here. His twin brother. But knights have to do all kinds of quests, you know, to retain their knighthood. So, like, he'll be out there, like, stealing goats, burning down villages. Regular knight stuff, you know? Someone's got to do it. Has his brother been knighted? No. Very different bear, his brother. I'm probably supposed to be grabbing a fetch here or something, but I'm going to take the Dark Depths and just, like, make sure that I get the combo. I'm sure it would wheel, but, like, there's nothing here that's that exciting. Like, if there was a Time Warp here, I would take that, or if there was a Crucible effect, you know, but this is kind of the only card here I care about, so I'm just going to grab it and just make sure I get it. Hello, Co. A lot to love in this pack. Yeah, thinking about Force Negation, Pyrogoyf, and Uro. And then, like, if you wheel the Plagon or the Sentinel, you're pretty happy. Uro might be wheelable, too. But it also might be, like, the most important card for us. It plays really well with Tamio. I'm just going to take the Uro. Just going to make sure I get it. I think taking the Pyrogoyf, like, you wheel Uro, like, over half the time, though. Maybe more like half the time. Because there's, like, a bunch of other green and blue cards here. No need to tempt anybody. We don't exactly have a Nadu deck here. But Nadu's never really bad, and we can get a few nice synergies. We passed the Cub in pack 1. We haven't seen Bill yet. With some of the cards who I want. Lightning Greaves cute with the Dark Depths combo. Chariot's a good Nadu card. So we actually want the Selfish Reclaimer. Frantic Search is really good with Uro in terms of this, like, filling the graveyard to immediately get it back for basically free. And it's also a great way to bin and Echo of Eons. However, we do have this Dark Depths combo. Reclaimer is, like, the best card for just tutoring up both halves, back-to-back turns. It's good here. It's good. Also another body to, you know, be in play for Nadu triggers and such. Do I just want a QB? Not really. Do I want this Talisman? Kind of. The thing is, like, you don't always draw your Fastbond, right? And you still don't want to be slow as shit. Kind of like the Cryptic. Let's take the Cryptic. Nexus of Fate was never in Vintage Cube, no. A bunch of other cubes. We don't really have a reason to be grabbing red sources. But I don't really like any of these. I guess Malcolm bins for Uro. It's a little weak. Oh, Graveyard Hate. Potentially main deckable, huh? Yeah, we're investing a lot of picks into our mana base, so... Oh, wow, both blue cards wheeled. Sweet. Well, we actually want Plagon over Force, I think. Because it's so good with Nadu here. Nice. We got the Frantic Wheel. That Yavimaya, though, actually. Yeah, the Yavimaya with the Dark Depths. I think I'm just going to grab the Bill here. I like the Fetch, I like the Narset, but Bill is another piece of the Nadu combo plan. And besides the green Fetch, like probably the best green card in the pack, so not guaranteed to come back. Y'all draft a Mana Drain, huh? No reason not to. And if y'all remember this one from, like, Guitar Hero, you want to play Omnath? The Frog's, like, almost playable, huh, with the Verdant in the starting town there. I think I was going to take this Brainstorm. Laid to Rest was also in Guitar Hero. Oh, okay. That one I remember covering in person, so that's what my brain goes back to. But this one I mostly remember from Guitar Hero. I'm going to grab this Force of Vigor. You couldn't pass the Frog. The issue with Frog in this deck is we're just not that disruption-y. So we can't, like, really protect it and force it through. Pick them apart and have it, like, snow roll. And we have a bunch of other draw engines. Do I want to splash red for a removal spell? Do I just want to draft Palantir? I don't actually like Palantir very much in this deck. Not much of a Fastbond deck, huh? Somewhere out there, someone's got all the Fastbond shit. And they're like, who took it all? Who took the Fastbond? Ooh, that was helpful. Yeah, counting Dark Depths as a spell, I'm still pretty happy playing like 18, 19 lands in this deck. I'm gonna grab that Safekeeper. It helps protect the Dark Depths, And it pops off with Nadu. It protects Hull Breacher too. So like this could be a deck. Or I could replace the Lantern or the Talisman. Never saw a blue-green duel. Xander's Lounge would let Verdant fetch a blue source, I guess. Or I'm passing these good duels that I can't use at all. Just Oath into Uro. Bring the motherfucking ruckus. This would be 7 green sources. I probably want more than that. How much blue is this? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's pretty good. And the Manamorphose helps with like turn 2 mana drain or Cryptic later, or just to like get the 5th card for Uro. How big of a paper Magic collection do I have these days? Not much of one actually, Pootyful. Like I keep like a modern deck handy. And I have I've got like a mini pre-modern gauntlet and a mini pauper gauntlet. And neither of those are formats that like especially break the bank. Yeah, there's these red cards in the board that I might want to board in some matchups, though. So I kind of liked that Xander's Lounge also gave me another red source for that. We'll see if that actually ever ends up happening, of course. Have I built any more pre-modern decks in paper since the Wheeler collab? I have not, no. No, my, the projects that I'm working on right now, are mostly like stuff setting up and getting ready for the wedding. In the next like few months, I plan on like going through and doing like a mass card sorting and stuff. And after that, I might start working on building more pre-modern and pauper decks and stuff, but currently I don't have time to play those formats, so I certainly don't have time to build decks for them. I'm very jealous of their hedge maze. Always like the build in this track. This is Trivium over Voltage. It's like one of their more well-known tracks. Or at least it was when I was listening to them a lot. Nice. Island directly into play. Nice. I started saying that before the trigger resolved. I just really wanted to see it for this mana drain. And now we've got Time Warp mana for next turn. And, like, the Chariot will just keep on drawing cards with Nadu here. Yeah, the widget that does the song titles only gets all the info if they actually put all the info in the title. So with that one, they like it's the band upload, but they didn't put their. I like using the band upload if I can, because then like every time I listen to them, it counts as a view for them. You know, it's better through analytics and stuff. But if they don't put their own name in there, then it doesn't show up in the widget. But usually it's not a big deal to just let folks know if they're curious who an artist is. Pull harder on the strings of the martyr. If you're gonna like Google that, you're only getting one band, of course. Very specific band name or track name. I think I'm gonna board in the Shocks here. Yeah, I think we have plenty enough red for like. For one, we're not hurting the mana base for the other cards. For the other cards, right? We're cutting 2 green sources and a blue source for 2 green sources and a blue source here. And then for 2, we still have like the Xander's Lounge, the Starting Town, the Verdant Catacombs that can fetch them, Manamorphoses. It should be plenty for a couple of Shocks. Why tap the Nadu instead of a cat? If they grew their thing, I don't want to have to chump with the Nadu. If you attack and everything goes well, you have 2/2/2s that can already block the FOMO. And if the opponent's got a removal spell, they like really want to point it at the Nadu already. So then you wouldn't have a blocker at all, right? So I guess a lot of different little reasons. Let's spin the Forest and get Stomping Ground with Verdant. No, Melancholy, that doesn't matter at all. The Chariot will always trigger the Nadu ability. Nice, no 2-drop. Playing the Fastbond here means that if I rip an untapped land, I can run out the Tamiyo next turn if I want to. And we did just mill the Dark Depths. But the Tamiyo, assuming we untap with it, can just downtick and grab the Dark Depths next turn. Dark Depths was not a name for the uptick because it says choose a non-land. Kind of just want to rebuy the Hull Breacher and have them stare awkwardly at their deck. I'm sorry. Could you put it in the fridge? Yeah. Yeah, we ate like right before it went live. That'll be dope right after though. Thanks, babe. Deck digging for a depth answer. They've got white removal, huh? They might just have an exile effect. And the nice thing about rebuying the Hull Reacher is it just like stops this, huh? What's an end to that? Slows them the fuck down. Oh, they're planning on chumping with the copter. So for this combo to work, you definitely have to keep the one that has no counters on it, or you'll just sack the land for no reason. Okay, that'll work. And if they had cards in hand and we were worried about a counter, the Tamiya could even cash in for the memory lapse. Yeah, very possible the removal spells should be in the main deck. Is this like a turn 3 2020? Kind of what it looks like. Imagine if we had a Lightning Greaves. Well, they can block for a turn. Then being on blue-black makes me not want to crack this Lantern. Same. Yeah, I didn't want to eat it and run into, like, Liliana Edict without, like, getting my nice 20 damage in, but maybe I should be, huh? Maybe I should just be going for it. All right. Hold the phone. I don't want to play anymore. They probably didn't realize the Yavimaya. Yeah, they probably thought I needed one more land there. They weren't dead because they were at 21 life, empty Cheons. Like, they didn't even need the bat connection there. But when you're cold, I guess. Kind of tempting to board in Bob and Leovold here. Oh, shit. Hey, SSF4 Arcade Edition. Thanks to the sob, the 2 years. Yeah, very close to keepable, huh, with the Brainstorm there. I think I'm going to send it back, though. Nice to have both colors. One's got a few blockers this time. Yeah, no real reason for that. Grab that Yavimaya. Interesting, huh? Hmm. I'll play this before attacking so I can draw 2 in case they trade off the Reclaimer. Uro looking a little bit worse against this Emperor. They're exiling Strix. Interesting. I thought they'd hit my Echo. They might just be like happy with me echoing since they've got nothing. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Quinn Toxic thinks that 12 months there, the full year. Shit. Yep, that'll do her. Yeah, really tied up on mana that game. Would have been nice if we had Safekeeper, huh? Or I guess that wouldn't have stopped the Edict. Yeah, the Edict is just good against me. Maybe we could have a nice Nadu game, huh? So normally you would want to save the Verdant for like post Bristly Bill. But I want to get a blue source with it. And that blue source comes and play tapped. So I'm just going to do this and pass. And now we're a lot closer to Cryptic Hum. We can still go like Bill into either Hull Breacher or Uro. Tamio does stop the Edict, yeah. Tamio's good at that. Oh, save those. Save those for when we're holding up Hull Breacher. Well, I guess that narrows my plays this turn. Well, so they know about the Cryptic, but they don't know about the Manamorphose, so we might just have a surprise Cryptic next turn. This thing needs 5. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Mariok thinks there's 67 months. Chariot's just a little bit better against Uro. Or, I'm sorry, better against Liliana than Uro is the reason I'm doing this. I want to get the Uro out of the graveyard. You know, I don't want them to give a chance to rip Emperor to exile it like this turn immediately. Looks like I just had that one turn. Very frustrating. Yeah, getting the Uro out wouldn't have been bad either, because then like they have to cash in the Liliana to beat it, and then you get the 2-for-1 with the Uro draw. Hey, thanks, Pony. So I think they want to cash in their Liliana for a cat token here. Yeah. Because otherwise they'd be upticking to make themselves and only themselves discard a card, and then they lose it anyway. I assume they didn't stock up for that miscalc. Might have been their land drop last turn. Well, it's not the worst. I kind of missed that I was going to get 2 counters. I kind of wish I'd loaded up the cat token, had a 3/3 and a 4/4. In retrospect. Very awkward spot for them because we can grow this Reclaimer mid-combat. We can block and then sack something. Turn into a 3/4. Yeah. So they're in this spot where like they can't attack to pressure the Oko. They know what their hand looks like, right? It's probably like not amazing. And they know that we're also like not only sitting here activating Oko every turn, but then our land Duder Grabber is also assembling the Dark Depths combo. So even not knowing about the mana drain, they're just in a real rough spot. I guess. In the land of the 3/3s, the 3/4 is king. Oh shit, Digital Sparrow with the 16 months. You got hit with COVID in the middle of busy season, but at least there's Cube and Caleb to watch. Hey, at least there is that. Sucks about the COVID. Good luck recovering. I think we're actually playing the starting town next turn. So it'll stay into play untapped. And you could sing into Stupor to like bounce the Rafellos for a turn. I think I'd rather bounce whatever they cast off the Rafellos. Your doctor says you'll get better if I chain mad trophies together. Nice. Well, we already got one today. Oh, I suppose if I'm going to play Tamio this turn anyway, I should have let on that. Kind of a ballsy block. Because the 2 life is very unlikely to matter, but if I have a cantrip that I want to play anyway, or a removal spell for Raphellos, then I just kind of lose the carry tid for no value. One of those high-risk, low-reward blocks. Well, we're 4 cards closer to a Dark Depths or a Time Warp. 8 mana. 9 mana. Summon Bahamut. So why does the land, when it comes into play... Oh, it's because it gains the ability. That's annoying. I don't want to pitch cast the Uro, so I'm just going to untap and hardcast this Force of Vigor. With the birds and Raphellos, they have as much mana as they need, so they don't value the carry tid. Yeah, but if the spell that I'm playing kills the Raphellos, then they suddenly don't have the mana that they need, is the issue. Is the issue with that reasoning. Well, I'm glad they didn't replay the 6 and threaten to get back the Bahamut, but next turn I think if they just rip a land, they'll be able to do that anyway. I think we actually want to hold on to this Soul Guide Lantern to prevent 6 recursion in the future. Yeah, I like attacking. I like not attacking. I guess I'll attack. Oh, we're fetching, huh? It's a bad sign. Yeah, that depends on what the last couple of cards are here, huh? Uro just grinding them out, just grinding them down here. Yay. As good as Force of Vigor and Soul Guide Lantern were, I think we are once again going to board in our removal spells. I almost want Expressive in here too, over like Planisphere. Planisphere was solid that game. Did some things. Yeah, let's run this. Well, that's pretty bad for me. Tentatively find in. Big C hasn't played in a while, but the power creep's gotten really bad. Yeah, the Final Fantasy set was a little toned down at least, but I largely agree. Why'd they choose Ketria Triome? I think that implies untapped red source in hand already. I was fishing for Oko. That's why I cycled Manamorphose there. That was the plan. Hell yeah, the Mister. Oh, I'm just on board. They hit me and then chuck with Minsk. We can scoop. Yeah, I caught them at. I listened to them back in high school and stuff. That's what the whole playlist is. But high school and college. But I got to see them perform kind of recently. It was like 2 Milwaukee Metal Fests ago. They just like brought a bunch of old like metalcore and deathcore bands out. And the lead singer had dreadlocks like down to his feet. That was kind of wild. Well, kind of wish I had Forced Negation, but oh well. Oh, that's keepable, huh? Bye, Bill. It's very possible I'm just supposed to be like setting up Nadu combo. What's up, Malcolm? So the Verdant doesn't have like a Trop or anything to grab. I think I'm just supposed to pass. I guess I could draw another card first. Ooh, another blue source. Oh, I can use my green to do some equipage. I dig that. And that's another blue. Well, we sure drew a lot of cards that turn, huh? 9 lands in play to their 4. Okie dokie. Ooh, hello. Yeah, feeling pretty good about that one, locking it up. That's back-to-back trophies. That's back-to-back trophies, folks. I liked that deck. It was fun. Played out well. It was very light on removal. Like we boarded in the splash for 2 lightning bolts all 3 rounds. I think if we'd faced like a dedicated aggro deck, we would have had a real rough time. Assuming we didn't just like run hotter than sin. But we never really faced that. We never really faced a pure aggro deck. It was always people trying to interact with us and like play like a slightly slower game. Except for that finals opponent where we just drew well in that 3rd game. Yeah. And when someone's trying to do that, and you just like have a deck full of arrows and value cards and recursion and anyway, Nadu lines up real well against that stuff. Busted 3 mana Simic Rares, right.